Hello Carnage Cravers! Welcome back to Karnage Korner. I am Ken Carnage and we are getting right into another episode of KKWR. That is the Karnage Korner Wrestling Review. So let's go ahead and jump right into Wednesday night's NXT. That's the first thing we're going to talk about. Alright, so NXT opened up with William Regal in the ring to call out the combatants for the NXT Women's title match at TakeOver Brooklyn. So out comes Ember, out comes Asuka. Ember Moon cut one hell of a promo on Asuka, and Asuka cut what I'm assuming is one hell of a promo on Ember. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know what she said, but I think whoever had the idea to have her do it in Japanese that intensely is brilliant, because that's the funny thing about when English is your second language. When you get like really pissed off, you're not thinking clearly enough to express yourself in English. So you revert back to what is your first language. So the idea that Asuka was so pissed, so intense that she could not intelligently speak in English, and she just ranted in Japanese, I think is pretty cool. And I think these two are going to have a hell of a match. It's definitely going to be one to watch on Saturday night. Could possibly end up being the best match on the card. They're both amazing. So that being said, so then we moved into we had the backstage. We had the earlier tonight, backstage with Lars and William Regal. Lars Sullivan asking for another tag team match. Lars has a habit of attacking his tag team partners after they lose the matches. And Regal didn't want to give it to him, so Lars promised that there would be he would not perpetuate violence upon his tag team partner in the ring. So Regal gave him a match. And so Lars came out. Well, first, the Street Profits came out. I cannot stand the Street Profits. Like, why? I don't understand this. Why is it that the wrestling fans at large seem to love people who act like fucking morons? What? I mean, New Day and now these fucking jamokes. Like, what the hell? Why are you cheering for these people? Anyways, moving on from there, the Street Profits were taking on Lars and Chris Silvio, and Lars wanted to start the match. Silvio insisted on starting the match, charging over and attacking one of the Street Profits. I don't even want to learn their names. That's how little I care about them. So making Lars have to get outside of the ring, and Chris proceeded to get his ass whipped and lose to the Street Profits. Lars was furious. Lars picked up Chris and carried him out of the arena. For a brief moment, we thought maybe, just maybe, Lars was going to not pummel Chris into the dirt. But he did. He just decided to take him outside first so that he was still keeping his word to William Regal. It's kind of funny, actually. He took him out back by the picnic table, slammed him into the metal fence, and chokeslammed his ass into a rolling dumpster cart. And that's just a bad way to end your night. And so Chris Sullivan probably should have started that match on the outside and let Lars do his thing. But alas, he did not. So then we went into Ruby Riott versus Billie Kay. It was a pretty good match. Billie Kay, Peyton Royce too for that matter, they're good wrestlers. And Ruby Riott is a very good wrestler herself, so they had a good match. Ruby did win, and of course, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce have got to run their mouths, but that's the thing. They're the heels. They're supposed to run their mouths. So but Ruby wins that match, and then we moved into Roddy Strong versus Drew McIntyre. Now, the stipulation here being that if Roddy can beat Drew, Roddy will get a title shot against Bobby Roode after TakeOver, should Roode still be champion. It's very confusing. So, in either case, it was a good match, and Roddy was looking like he was going to win, and all of a sudden, Bobby Roode comes down and attacks. They rang the bell, but they didn't tell us like which way the disqualification went. So I don't know. I don't know if Roddy Strong is actually going to get that match he wanted or not. I do know Roode attacked both men and left both men laying. And Roode standing tall. I still think Roode's dropping that title at TakeOver. I think he's dropping that title, and I think he's moving up to the main roster, but we'll just have to see what happens. So, but that was NXT. Now, if we go back one more day to Tuesday, we can talk about SmackDown. So let's talk about SmackDown, shall we? So, SmackDown opened up with Jinder Mahal coming out, cutting himself a nice little promo. Shinsuke coming out, and cutting himself a nice little promo that we could understand because he didn't have his mouthpiece in. So maybe he watched my video. I highly doubt it, but maybe somebody at WWE told him, "Hey, buddy, we can understand you a lot better without that mouthpiece in. Maybe keep it out unless you're actually planning on getting kicked in the jaw." So, in either case, Shinsuke came out. He pretty much told Jinder his days were numbered and went and then left. And it's funny that the Singh brothers, they're not all tough until Shin gets out of the ring. So personally, I hope the Singh brothers are not that involved in this match at SummerSlam, Jinder versus Shinsuke, because it looks like it could be a really, really good match. And it'd be nice to not see a lot of their involvement. Okay, if they've got to be in the finish because Jinder's supposed to keep the title, then that's one thing. But I don't want to see a lot of them. Moving on from there, they came back from break, and they mentioned Ric Flair. Ric Flair had a surgery and was out of surgery. They reported he was out of surgery. This was, of course, Tuesday night. They reported he was out of surgery, was stable, but still considered to be in critical condition. So hopefully, the Nature Boy is going to be okay. Obviously, I mean, it's we don't want the Nature going anywhere, not for a long, long time. It's the entire wrestling community is going to, weep the day that we lose the Nature Boy. So hopefully that's not for a long, long time. Moving on, they then had a match between Becky Lynch and Natalya. And just before the match started, Naomi decides to come out and go to commentary. She comes out with her "I'm lost on my way to a disco" routine, and comes out with her goddamn ridiculous, stupid, light bright championship. Why don't you just build it out of fucking Legos, huh? Seriously, it obviously means nothing to you with the way you fucking deface it and besmirch it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Pisses me off. Alright, so. So, Naomi sat there on commentary, talking shit, and, And Natalya eventually won the match. Natalya and Becky, of course, had a good match. They always do. Natalya won with the sharpshooter. I understand that's her finish, but, I feel like being pinned does a lot less damage to your character as tapping out does. But, hey, whatever. Becky tapped out to Natalya's sharpshooter. after the match had been won and everything else, Becky decides to put the sharpshooter back on, Natalya decides to put the sharpshooter back on Becky, just to, like, prove a point, I suppose. And so Naomi storms the ring and, whatchamacallit, took a powder. Natalya took a powder. She got out of Dodge. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really think Natalya is going to win the title at SummerSlam. I really don't. I think it might be a hell of a match. I actually think Carmella might be cashing in at SummerSlam. She did come out after their match and allude to as much. But, it's one of those things that, I don't know, I just feel, because, I mean, unless they're going to have Carmella hold on to that briefcase for a long time, which is possible, but I feel like that's probably not the way it's going to go. And it makes far more sense for her to cash on Naomi than it would for her to cash on Natalya, because having a heel cash on a heel is kind of like, you know what I mean? So if you really want a reaction, having her cash on Naomi is what makes the most sense. Then we went to backstage where we had Lana and Tamina talking backstage, and I kind of stopped listening because I don't give a damn. These are the two, of all the women on the roster, these are the two I just don't give a damn about. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not impressed. I don't like you. I don't dislike you. I just simply don't care about you. So it's like, why would I watch you? That being said, we then went to another backstage segment between SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan and the Usos. Apparently, Daniel thought they were there to have him be the third man in their rap group. This was painful to watch. This was absolutely cringe-worthy. Watching Goat Boy talk about hooks and beats and I just no, Daniel, don't do it, please. Like, just no. Okay, I need to move on. The Usos wanted to know which two New Day members they'd be facing at SummerSlam. It turns out it will be Big E and Xavier. So they asked for Xavier and Kofi that night. So, from there, and of course Daniel agreed to that. From there we went into a match, Rusev versus Gable, which they didn't really announce it, but I believe ended in a double count out. I do know what happened after the bell rang, though. Gable was vaulted into the the announcers, put on top of the announce table, and locked in the accolade. So, yeah, Gable got made an example of to try and boost Rusev. Rusev gets in the ring to drop a promo. And he says Randy and gets RKO'd because Randy came out of the crowd or somewhere. We didn't see where he came from. He came out of nowhere. Hey, look at that. There's the hashtag. Right out of nowhere, straight out of nowhere. I don't fucking know. I don't hashtag. I'm sorry. It's so anyways, Orton standing tall. Normally, something like that would make me inclined to believe that Rusev would win, but I don't know. I know that Rusev's got a little heat because he got a haircut. Isn't that a stupid thing to have heat over? You got a haircut. Like, seriously, was his hair an integral part of his character? Or lack of character, for that matter? So anyways, moving on. AJ comes out, brings out Shane. AJ Styles comes out, brings out Shane. You know, Shane stops him, says there's no apology necessary, yada yada. Tells him, but if you put your hands on me during the match, I'm going to put my hands all over you. Sounds kind of rapey, Shane. Sounds kind of rapey. Didn't sound tough like you wanted it to. It sounds creepy. Just a little bit creepy. And okay, so then Kevin comes out and they have this whole back and forth thing, and it got a little repetitive after a while, and long story short, it ended with AJ moving and Kevin kicking Shane in the face. by accident. So, now it's even 1-1. Shane should be impartial. That's what I was looking for. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see what happens. Personally, I'd like them to keep that U.S. title on AJ. I don't think Kevin needs it back. So, unless, of course, now this is just speculation, but if they're going to put the world title on Shinsuke and they want to take the U.S. title off of AJ so that they can move AJ into working with Shinsuke for the World WWE title at WrestleMania, I would be in support of that, because I think Shinsuke versus AJ, and I'm using the syllable A lot right now, but Shinsuke versus AJ, that's a WrestleMania caliber main event, and making it for the title just makes sense. So, you know, that being said, I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know what they're going to do, but if they're not going to do that, leave it on AJ, because Kevin don't need it. Oh, well, neither does AJ for that matter, but I'd rather see it on AJ. So, oh boy. So then the New Day comes out, and they talk. And I hate when they talk. I don't like the New Day. I've never liked the New Day. It didn't matter if they were heels, babyfaces. I never liked the New Day. I liked Kofi Kingston before this whole New Day BS. But I never liked the New Day. Never, never, never. And so the Usos come out and they have a match with the New Day. They have a match with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. The Usos win. Okay, they win. They got the, they took out the knee, hit their double move, and, they got the win. Good for them. I don't know if they're going to get the win on Sunday. I mean, I'd hope so, but last time New Day had titles, they held them for freaking ever. And, cheat. New Day cheats constantly, so take that for what it's worth. But, anyways, we had another episode of Fashion Peaks. God, this is so dumb. When they first started the Fashion Files, they made me laugh. They made me chuckle. They were funny. Okay? This has gotten so goddamn ridiculous. Like, just stop. I mean, we went from Fashion Files to Fashion Vice to Fashion X-Files to now Fashion Peaks. I don't even know what show they're making fun of anymore. Like, just stop. Is this the best stuff you have to do for the Ascension? What? Oh, God. So, and then we went into our main event, Jinder versus Cena. The match wasn't bad, surprisingly enough. Cena was looking like he was going to get the 1, 2, 3, and Corbin comes out to stop that. All right. So he comes out, he causes a disqualification, he just whacks Cena with the briefcase, and then he goes to leave. Decides he wants to go and cash in his Money in the Bank. So you cashed in Money in the Bank. Okay. Cashed it in. Well, what do you do as soon as they ring the bell because your opponent, the World Heavyweight Champion, is ready? You look behind you and allow yourself to be distracted by John Cena so that you can get a quick roll-up. Now, I understand that this is a work. I understand that this is not real, and we cannot blame Baron Corbin for this horrible, horrible, horrible booking decision. Because I guarantee it wasn't his idea. I do know whose idea I think it was. I think it was John Cena's idea. And I think that John Cena probably did not like what Corbin said a few days ago, saying, last week, saying, I have no reason to fight you because I have this. You have nothing I want. Yada, 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 yada. So, now I don't know if this is a result of Cena's politicking to keep the new kids down, which is something he does, just like Hulk Hogan before him. I hate both of them, but that's neither here nor there. Or if this is, part of the storyline to make Baron actually want to fight Cena. I don't know. I have no clue. I hope Baron wipes the floor with Cena at SummerSlam, but somehow I doubt it. I just don't think that Cena's ego would allow him to accept losing to a newcomer like Baron Corbin. So, you know, Cena might break out his knee pads and spend a few extra, you know, hours or minutes, or I don't know, being extra nice to little Vinny to get his way. But I think that ultimately, I think Corbin's going to do the job to Cena, because I just don't think Cena will play ball with him. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Corbin failed to cash in the Money in the Bank, which is a damn shame. Makes him one of 3 people to ever cash it in and not be successful. Oh, here's a fun thing. Do you know, can you name me one of the other 2 people who failed to cash in? Toss it in the comment section. So anyways, well, let's talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. 3 hours of thrilling television. I'm being sarcastic in case you didn't know. So, Monday Night Raw. Ambrose comes out and cuts himself a promo and brings out Rollins. And they both have their sappy, crappy promos. Guys. Just smack those writers. This shit is horrible. Okay, we do not, like, you're a big jerk and I don't trust you. God, you sound like, I'm gonna curve that comment. That might be offensive. But anyways, it breaks down into a brawl. Those 2 beating up on each other. Sheamus and Cesaro come out and they attack. Alright, Ambrose and Rollins start working together and manage to stand tall. Kurt Angle comes out and makes a. This is after, of course, the official reunion of Rollins and Ambrose with their fist bump in the ring, and you know, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I obviously like both of these competitors, but I don't understand why they're making such a big goddamn deal out of this. But Angle comes out and he makes a tag team title match for SummerSlam. The Bar will defend against Rollins and Ambrose. I have a sinking suspicion Ambrose and Rollins will go over in this match. That's what my gut tells me. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, Nia Jax and Sasha Banks had their match to decide the #1 contender for Alexa Bliss's Women's Championship, with Alexa watching from a lifeguard chair. I don't know whose idea that was, but it was kind of silly. That being said, Nia versus Sasha. Sasha wins by submission. Okay, I know it's a work, but guys, can we try and be a little bit realistic here? First off, the bank statement, that is a submission move that only works if you are bigger than the person you're putting it on. Because believe me, if Nia wanted out, she'd have got out. Okay, so like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't know. So anyways, it will be Sasha versus Alexa at SummerSlam. I sure as shit hope they don't put that title back on Sasha. Oh, God. We got a backstage brawl that was going on between Bray and Finn. And what ends up happening is they decide they want to have their match that night rather than at SummerSlam. So that gets decided. Big Cass is out. Then we cut to the ring. Big Cass is in the ring, cutting a promo. Cass's promo work's getting better. It is. Enzo comes out, runs his mouth, cuts promo. It's really the only thing he's, shown us in the WWE. We did see more out of him in NXT, in all honesty, but I mean, in the WWE, we really haven't seen him do anything but work the mic. But he brings out Big Show. Big Show goes to beat up Cass. Gallows and Anderson attack. Gallows, Anderson, and Cass. They beat up Big Show. They slam his arm in the cage, and they're just trying to put him at a disadvantage for Sunday. Personally, I think Cass needs to go over on Sunday. Cass needs to beat Big Show. You gain nothing from having Big Show beat Cass. Okay, so then we had the Cruiserweight Championship match. We had Tozawa versus Neville. And Tozawa finally wins the Cruiserweight Championship, dethroning Neville. And we'll see what goes forward from there. I think it's interesting that that match was removed from SummerSlam. So I'm wondering who's getting the extra time. Because if they remove that match, it's because they were jockeying things around. So who got the time? That's what I'm interested to know. I'll never know because I'm not in the know. But it's nice. It's fun to speculate over it. So, and then we went into Finn versus Bray. Bray wins. Not only does Bray win, but he dumps a bucket of blood all over Finn. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Blood all over Finn. Yeah. So Jason Jordan was, and we go to break. We come back from break, and Finn is leaving the general manager's office. It tells the interviewer that at SummerSlam, Bray is going to find out I've got my demons too. So, what that means? It means he's going to come out all painted up as the demon character. Something we haven't seen since he came back from injury. So, Jason Jordan versus The Miz was our next matchup. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, they jumped Jason Jordan, and the Hardys came out to help him, and it got turned into a 6-man tag team match. All right, fair enough. Hardys and Jordan, they win said 6-man tag team match. Okay, fine. What are we going to get out of this? Is Jason Jordan going to win the Intercontinental title? Have they announced a challenger for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam? I haven't heard anything. I don't remember hearing anything. Is Miz not defending his title? He should be. I don't know. So there are a lot of things we don't know. Maybe that's why the Cruiserweight title match got moved to Raw. Maybe that's why. I don't know. We're going to have to see. We come back from break. Angle is in the ring. Lots of security. Brings out Brock. And Heyman cuts a promo, dressing down every one of the other members of the Fatal 4-Way. Joe comes out. Pretty much tells Brock, you didn't beat me, you escaped me. And you don't have to worry about me beating one of the other two guys to get your title, because I'm coming right after you. Not bad. Braun comes out. Says, I'm always the last man standing. To which Joe laughed and said, no, you were the guy who barely stood up as Roman Reigns laid there after I choked him out. Which is the truth. That is what happened. So, there's that. And then Roman comes out and just spears Joe. He spears Joe. Braun body slams Roman. And then Braun and Brock have one of the better pull-aparts I've seen in a little while. It's not as good as Brock Taker, but it was a decent pull-apart with, with the security trying to keep them apart and eventually the superstars all trying to keep them apart. So it wasn't bad. And that was how they closed out Raw. So as far as this Fatal 4-Way match for the Universal title, I don't know. I'm just not sure because there's so many ways they could go. But personally, I'm okay with Strowman or Joe. I feel it's time to get that belt off of Brock. And I definitely don't want to see it on Roman. So I'll be happy with Strowman or Joe either way. I think either way is good. So that being said, that is going to be it for today. Now, we have lots of wrestling going on this weekend. I will be going live for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 on Saturday night. I will be going live for that. However, due to my my work schedule, I will not be going live Sunday for SummerSlam, but I will be dropping a SummerSlam review video the following day. On Monday, I will be dropping a SummerSlam review video, so be sure to check that out. But when on Saturday night, we're going to do NXT TakeOver Live. You guys come on down, watch with us. We're gonna see it as it goes down. So, that being said, until next time, I am Ken Carnage. Carnage is right around the corner.